Well, welcome everyone to the February 25th meeting of the Town Council CBS for the Committee of the Whole. And we start this meeting, as we always start these meetings, with our safety moment. And this week it is Councillor Gerard Tilley.
Thank you, Worship. Just some safety tips for the season for winter traveling. So always, before you go, always check the weather and snow conditions before your trip, and check the road conditions and be prepared for winter driving. It's also beneficial to research the area and route you're traveling. Some roads are not maintained in the winter, and it's always a good idea to have a paper map in addition to GPS, because GPS doesn't always work. Always tell someone where you're going and the expected time of return, and check in with them when you do get back. And you should always pack a water and high energy meals and snacks, and dress in layers for warm waterproof clothing. And of course, one of the big things is be sure to pay attention to weather conditions and be prepared to leave quickly if conditions do change.
Thank you, Councillor Tilley. And just for those who are viewing this online, they can see the word happy under Gerard. It's actually birthday under that, so it's happy birthday, Gerard Tilley, 56 today, I believe. So that's why there's happy underneath your face when it's up on the screen. Okay, and you are usually happy, so that's good too. Next up, the land acknowledgement. The town of Conception Bay South would like to respectfully acknowledge the territory in which we gather as the ancestral homelands of the Beothuk, and the island of Newfoundland as the ancestral homelands of the Mi'kmaq and Beothuk. We also respectfully acknowledge Labrador as the traditional and ancestral homelands of the Innu of Nitassinan, the Inuit of Nunatsiavut, and the Inuit of Nunatuavut. We strive for respectful partnerships with all the peoples of this province as we search for collective healing and true reconciliation and honor this beautiful land together. Next up is the adoption of the meeting agenda for tonight, moved by Councillor Connors, seconded by Councillor Hillier. And we got to slow down. We'll just slow down for a second. No, we'll wait for the vote to come up. All moved by Councillor Connors, seconded by Councillor Hillier. Okay, and here we go. All in favor? Contrary minded? Voting in progress. There we go. The only technology that slows things down. Okay. Adoption of the meeting minutes for February 11th, moved by Councillor Hardy, seconded by Councillor Tilley. Discussion? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you. So next up is the Finance and Administration, and Deputy Mayor, is that you this evening?
No, that's Councillor Tilley this evening.
Councillor Tilley this evening, okay.
It's his birthday, so he's going to bring that forward.
Thank you, Worship. Just two recommendations here this evening. First one is the tax adjustment, 250225. Be it so resolved that the town adjust taxes as follows in the so noted account. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Butler. Discussion? Okay. No discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
5B, multi-year capital works amendment for phase 48. Be it so resolved that we, the ultimate recipient, the town of Conception Bay South, request approval from the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure to reallocate remaining funds from the completed project, phase 48, multi-year capital works 22-00019, to the upcoming project 2025 Streets 17- multi-year capital works -24-00025. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Connors. Discussion?
And I believe, Your Worship, that's just, we had some money left over from the last phase, and we're just transferred over into the next.
Yep.
Do we know how much money that was?
181,000.
181,000, okay.
I'm sorry, how much?
181,000.
181,000, okay. And that was a big project. That was a few $1 million, phase 48, so it's good to have a little bit of money left over when you're doing a project like that. road work and water and sewer and so forth. So it's good. We'll ask the province to allow us to spend that on roads for the coming year, which is great. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried? Okay, up next is Engineering and Public Works. Who's delivering that this evening? That is Councillor Hardy.
Sorry, 6A, Sanitary Sewer Flow Monitoring Phase 2. Be it so resolved that Atkins Realis is engaged to undertake sanitary sewer flow monitoring Phase 2 at a cost of $76,290 plus HST, and funds are available in the project account. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Hillier. Discussion?
Yes, Your Worship. So this here is the second phase. So the first phase we completed not too long ago with the vapor testing, where we were able to identify deficiencies within the sewer system. So now phase 2 is we're going to go in and look at the deficiencies and look at the parameters on what a location is contributing to the sewer system, look at the parameters on what it should be contributing, and then recalibrate them all. So really just where we're to, they're actually contributing, and to see if there's any gaps on locations, if the levels are too high, if we have opportunities to add more to the system. So
Quite an upgrade. Okay. Any other comments? All in favor?
aye.
Contrary minded? Carried?
Thank you.
Okay, moving down the agenda, I see Planning and Development. Who might that be this evening? Councillor Hillier's got his hand in the air.
Yes, Your Worship, we've got a couple of items to bring forward this evening. Number one, be it so resolved that in accordance with sections 5.3.1 and 3.12 of the Town's Development Regulations, application number 4933 proposing the continued location of an accessory building being 1.35 meters from the rear boundary line at 61 Chaders Road be approved. So moved.
Do we have a seconder for that one? Councillor Moores, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, normally we look for 1.5 meters for a rear yard. Inadvertently here, the shed was built, 15 centimeters too close to the rear yard, and they've asked for a variance. This variance is within our 10% permitted, that we're permitted to do, so we're recommending approval.
All right, within our boundary for giving that without special treatment. So any other comments? All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried?
7B, be it so resolved that in accordance with sections 10.7 and 10.16 of the Town's Development Regulations, application number 4904, received on January 14, 2025, proposing to serve alcohol accessory to an existing recreation facility at 655 Conception Bay Highway, be approved. So moved.
Do we have a seconder for that? Councillor Tilley, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, this particular facility is listed here as a recreation facility, but facilitates other events as well, and there's somebody looking for a liquor license to go along with that, with those events.
Any other comments on that one? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried?
Under planning items, A, be it so resolved that with consent of the Minister of Municipal and Provincial Affairs and subject to payment of a non-refundable processing fee and a deposit, the town undertake public and stakeholder consultation in accordance with Section 14 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000 for proposed amendments to the St. John's Regional Plan, the Conception Bay South Municipal Plan and Development Regulations to rezone 1621 to 1631 Conception Bay Highway to the residential multi-unit zone. So moved.
Seconder? Councillor Hardy, discussion?
Yes, Your Worship, this is a piece of property opposite the College of North Atlantic on Route 60 in Seal Cove. There's been a fair amount of development there over the last couple of years. I know we've rezoned some property there previous to this. This particular plan is for I believe it's 30 units in 4 buildings as a multi-unit complex. And currently, the zoning crosses, I believe, 3 different zones, so they want to bring it into this residential multi-unit zone that would allow for the multiple units to be built.
Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And planning items B, be it so resolved that subject to payment of a non-refundable processing fee and a deposit, and in accordance with Section 14 of the Urban and Rural Planning Act 2000, the town undertake public and stakeholder consultation for proposed amendments to the Conception Bay South Municipal Plan and development regulations that would allow alcohol sales to clients within an approved personal service use in residential medium density. So moved.
Do we have a seconder? Deputy Mayor Goss. Discussion?
Yeah, I got a question. This is under appeal right now, right? The proponents put in an appeal. Can the rezoning go ahead while that appeal is in progress, I suppose, as the appeal is, can it go ahead before the appeal is heard? That's what I should be asking.
Where are we with that? Once somebody files an appeal, it seems to be in a legal process. Can the rezoning process continue at the same time?
Thank you, Councillor Connors and Mayor Bent. Yes, because although the end goal is for the same purpose, the appeal is in response to a development application that had been refused by council. And there was a discussion of council, and ultimately the applicant requested that council consider an amendment, and they are separate processes.
Okay, so one can proceed despite the other one, which may affect, I guess, the appeal, I suppose. We turned it down because it was against the rules and we had no choice, I suppose, was the original situation. But they're going the other route now, which is, I think, probably the best way to go for everybody.
It is. Thank you very much for doing that.
Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried.
And that's it from us, Your Worship.
Somebody hasn't voted yet. There we go. Okay. All right, recreation and leisure. I'm looking down towards Councillor Barrett.
Thank you, Your Worship. We have 2 items on the agenda this evening. However, we are deferring 8A for a future meeting pending additional information. So we'll defer that one and move on.
We need a motion to defer, I think, don't we? Yeah, so you can move that we defer it.
I'll move to defer.
Do we have a seconder to defer? Councillor Hardy? All in favor? Yep, sorry. Okay, fair
Okay,
enough. Yeah,
so I'll read the motion.
Yeah, you go ahead.
Yep, all good. So this is 8A, waiving court fees for Canadian Inclusive Squash Program non-residents. Be it so resolved that the town waive the court fees for the Canadian Inclusive Squash Program non-CPS residents for the 2025 calendar year at a value of $945.54. So moved.
Okay, do we have a seconder? Councillor Connors, discussion?
So I can move to defer that motion to a later date.
Do we have a seconder for the deferral? Councillor Hardy. Any discussion on the motion to defer? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Okay, carried. Thank you, Councillor Barrett.
No problem. Thank you. 8B, Federal Active Transportation Funding Application. Be it so resolved that the town Conception Bay South apply for cost-shared funding through the Federal Active Transportation Fund in the amount of $1.85 million. The town of Conception Bay South agrees to provide a share of cost-shared funding in the amount of $660,000, my apologies, net of HST rebates. So moved.
Seconder, Councillor Hillier. Discussion.
Yes, Your Worship, we had much success with this program last time it came around, following the completion of the Trailway And certainly everybody in Conception Bay South loves being active and availing of our natural assets. And so bringing this forward to see if we'll have continued success with this application and enhancing some of the areas throughout our community.
Any other comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you, Councillor Barrett. Next up, procurement. Who am I looking around the room to procurement for? Deputy Mayor, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Bent. Just one item. Be it so resolved that approval be given to purchase one regular cab 4x4 truck from Hickman Chevrolet Cadillac at a cost of $72,097.97 plus HST. Funds available in account as presented. So moved.
Do we have a seconder for the truck? Councillor Moores, discussion.
This is to replace a vehicle.
All in favor? Contrary minded? And there's the vote. Okay, I don't see anything else on the agenda for tonight, so I will ask for a motion for adjournment. Moved by Councillor Butler, seconded by Councillor Barrett. All in favor? Contrary minded? Carried. Thank you, and we'll be back on Trove Tuesday, I guess, for March 4th, for our public meeting, 1 week. Thank you.